says it has 5,176 delta V. What are you reading that? In total for the vessel, yeah. But we can't nick fuel from Birmingham. We could potentially nick fuel from Manchester itself, but then we can't because we need to get there. Yeah, and we need to get an engineer out to fix the problem. We need an engineer over at Manchester, really, and there's no crew quarters on this. This is a automated vehicle. But this is going to need adapting. Let me open up the Manchester Extension Station. Manchester Fuel Depot Rocket. Mind you, that won't work. Yes, it will. Was Rocket 2 the thing that we just flew? Looks like it. No, it doesn't. No, that's not the one. It was that one. There is already an engineer on the moon, yeah, but we need that engineer in the mining device. Otherwise, the miner won't run anywhere near as efficiently. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to nick this lifter. There's a decoupler there. That is Manchester Lift 3. And then go back to the Birmingham station, the Birmingham fuel station, which is the thing that we need to get up there. So this is what we need to get to the moon. This has gone above Kerbal, which is the Birmingham station. Then we should be able to chuck fuel in the upper stage, maybe. Actually, there's no second engine on this, is there? No second engine on it because the other one was relying on the small engines. What's up, Genesis? Now the clips will come faster. Lol. Yeah, this has no actual engine at the moment. Unless it carries on and uses that mainsail engine. It might work if we put enough fuel in the upper stage here. We'll have to see how it goes. Let's have a look at the maths. Right, we got that, we got that, we got that. Separation, good. Wait, what? Okay. engine, fairing. That comes much later. Alright, so stage 2, which is this stage here, has 3,600 delta V. Sounds like a lot. Have those tanks got fuel in? Sure as heck is a lot of lifting potential here. Manchester fuel station. Rocket. Save. Right, let's just try it out and see what happens. Let's run a simulation. Actually, let's check the struts. Jet78, thank you for 26 months. Have you heard of the bus? Yes. I have the game. I've had it for nearly a week. But I'm under NDA, Larry. Also strut the root part. Okay, let's just give it a whirl. Go for launch. I'll cover it in a video. Unfortunately, the NDA lift doesn't coincide well with my streams. So it'll have to be in a video. Right. Sync guidance. Let's go to 90k. 0 degree orbit. Blah, blah, blah. Gauge. Let's see how far we get. That's interesting. That might leave a mess. I don't like the way it's rotating. SRB. Oh, it's got plenty of control surfaces. Interesting separation and fairing at the same time. It seems to have gone up on quite a vertical ascent profile. Yeah, it kind of worked, Whiteland. It went up far too, like its gravity burn, its orbit burn was a bit bad. It's just gone up like that. Let's see how it gets on. No, the stage didn't separate too early. It could have thrown, like, I need to tune the engine a little bit better because the solid rocket boost is finished and then the engine finished about 8 seconds later. Ideally, you want them very close together. 'No, Hilo, it's because the SRBs were ready to go, but they had to wait for the main engine to finish. Then the main engine finished, and then it just did all of it at once. So it looked like things exploded, but yeah, it's just a timing problem. $2,400 Delta V remaining. Beautiful. Its calculations are completely messed up. There's something not right here. Like it says 849 Delta V, but it's red like we don't have enough fuel. Bender, we can't fix it on this run. I'm going to connect the fuel tanks and then we need to get a transfer vehicle over and we'll take an engineer. We'll go via the moon station. We'll either go via the moon station or go straight down, grab some fuel, go back up and then fix the problem. I need to design the transfer vehicle. Jack Down, thank you for 15 months. I guess the transfer vehicle, we can probably base the design off the fuel station itself. Just make it like a single tank version of that or something with a cargo and stuff on top. Like a crew quarters. So it can be manned or not. I don't know, DP. I'm still open to sort of... I don't know. I suppose in theory you could have 2 transfer vehicles. I mean, I also want an interorbital vehicle. So what I want is a vehicle that will go from the moon's surface to the orbiter. So it'll take fuel up to the orbiter, because the orbiter is the refueling station. But also this Birmingham station, I'd like a vehicle that can move fuel from the moon back here. But it takes like, what, 900 Delta V to go there? And less to come back. So I don't know what surplus fuel you could move. But it's obviously a lot cheaper to bring fuel from the moon to here than it is to, you know, try and lift fuel up here, I think. I'm assuming. Like, if you try and lift full tanks up to here from the Kerbal, is that more expensive than bringing it in from the moon? I don't know. Definitely what? Save. Trying to remember what orbit went in last time. Launch something to space for research. Slingshot a research center around the moon to deep space, no Kerbals. I don't know if that does anything for you, Whiteland, because it has comms in the game now, so you'd have to have something that has a powerful enough transmitter for the signal to get back. And I don't think it does anything unless you research while you're out there. I don't know. I don't know if it would work, is what I'm saying. It makes sense that it would be cheaper. Well, it does in theory. Yeah, but what are we transmitting, Wyland? Like, you would get science if you can get some kind of orbit around something. But just going into deep space, I don't know if you just get research points for that. It is Thailand, definitely. Definitely, it's more efficient from Minmus. But then Minmus is also further away. Deep space got its own research points. I mean, what are you talking like deep space here, Wyland? You talking like outside of ELO? Talking out here? I don't know what happens out here. I don't know if the signal will even come back. Yeah, the whale sound is a bit odd. Get our inclination right, then we'll change the periaps to 50k. Because that station's at 25? Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, 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 stupid game. Mistakes were made. Change inclination after a fixed time of 0 seconds. Go. Okay, change it after 10 seconds. Change it after 30 seconds. Okay, must already be at 0 then. We'll go 60k. Yeah, I heard about the SN11 Wayland, but I don't know what the mission is. Do you know what the mission is, Wayland? Same as SN10, fair enough. So basically just more testing and trying to get it right. Trying to land without exploding 2 minutes later. I love how they're just jumping from the 11 to the 15. It's hilarious. They're just missing out like superstitious numbers. It's nuts. It's crazy how quickly they build them. Right, F5. Okay, I didn't know if we'd put any big panels on that or not. Yeah, I don't get though, Wyland. I mean, when they do, that as a lifter, that's going to just open the possibilities up so much. Oh my god. Flight engineers into Kerbal. Yeah, they tend to use a lot of Probodyne type stuff, don't they? Automated drone bots on the top of the rocket. You reckon, Wyland? I don't know. I think if they get it working, they'll want to basically prove it a couple of times and then just get it actually commercial, like get it into commercial use and get the thing actually lifting paid for payloads up, because they're gonna, like, somebody is basically running up quite a big debt right now, blowing rockets up, and therefore commercial pressures mean, you know, they're gonna want a return on that. As soon as that thing is proven to be able to do its job, they're going to be putting it into action because it can lift things so much cheaper. Well, I never said Elon was in financial trouble. I said somebody's paying for all the explosions. There's always commercial backers, right? There's always people who are fronting up lots of money to pay for all this. And they, you know, they're quite happy to sit back and let things blow up, but they also want a return on their investment, right? Because they've taken a gamble. They're in it to make money. I don't know. Whiteland, maybe you... I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Like, if you don't understand how investing works, you front the cash and you expect a return. Like, that's how it works. They're building these rockets so that they can commercially lift things cheaper than anybody else. And heavier payloads. So the moment they get it working and then they can prove it's safe, right? They want to make it actually do work and make money back. That's how it works. That's how you get to be the world's richest man, is making smart decisions and getting a return on your investment. Well, fireworks are basically a bill. Like, they look good, but somebody paid for it. Yeah, but it doesn't... Yeah, but Whiteland, it can still make money even when it's not taking its full payload. It can still go up there cheaper. That's the whole point of the SN, isn't it? It's basically able to lift payloads into space much cheaper than existing technology. That's the whole reason for doing it. Exactly, bad luck, because the cheaper you can get up there and the cheaper you can start bringing stuff back. It's corporations running this now, not governments. Are we out of electric charge or something? Why is it taking an awfully long time not to head towards a maneuver node? Because I didn't do execute. Scumbaggery. Space mining is the next big gold rush. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, I do wonder what they're going to mine first and what materials they're looking for. What you really want out of this is to find some exotic material. IRL Elite Dangerous, yeah, effectively. They should be sending probes out. Separation 2.3K. Wait, what's the target? Well, there it is. You read that an asteroid can be worth 10,000 quadrillion? I don't know. It depends what it is. Like, whatever's out there is going to be raw material. So you've then got the problem of, well, do you bring all that raw material back? Or do you sort of try to mine it and then bring the result back? And if you want to mine it there, you've got to think about equipment and power, and you've got to put all that up there. It's a big problem. Titan's asteroids are primarily iron and nickel. Yeah, you see, it's the rare elements, but again, you've still got the problem, bad luck, of how do you get the material off the asteroid? How do you refine it? Like, I know in Elite Dangerous we've just got these wonderful mining lasers that you can just point at the asteroid and it'll just fabulously bring in raw material, but we don't have that. So what do we use? That's why I think it's more likely to have like a moon base or something. If you can get a moon base going, you've then got a place to bring raw material to, process it, and then bring the result back to. But even that's like a huge project. At some point, Larry, I guess. I mean, I'll have to anyway at some point, right? Raw materials, Biggie Footy, it's the precious metals. Is what it really is. Right, we'll stay there and move into some daylight. So that we can actually see what the heck we're doing. Oh, don't you... As if the game just crashed. And I haven't hit F5. That's tracking station. Let's see what we got here. Manchester refuel rocket. Oh wow, 200 meters away. That's not a bad effort from Kerbal. And that's where it destroyed itself a minute ago. Right, I need to remember what we did on this. I know we need to detach the main. We've got to RCS our way over there, I remember. Let's turn it around first. We need to get rid of this engine. We'll have to nick most of the fuel out of it first. The actual connection point is here. Just said you were live. Yeah, the game crashed my OBS. Wait, how did we go from... Right, F5 save. Why is that decoupler coming before that decoupler? Something's not right here. Remote guns unit, decoupler. Oh yeah, we're chucking that whole section, aren't we? So we need that fuel as well. So we're decoupling from here. No, here. Let's get rid of that. You're gonna get fuel refining on Mars until you get rockets like Starship landing there. Yeah, the cost is just astronomical. Right, that's deorbited that. Now to figure out... Where did we put this last time? Did we stick it off here, didn't we? Yeah, because you had two of them, I think. Is that right? I think we put it off one of these. We had one on that side, on the other one we had one on that side. Why is that 7 kilometers away? Yeah, neither. Octagon, science mode. Well, we need to get closer. Try and get there today. You very much doubt we'll even go back to the moon before 2030. And Mars 2040. Wait, hasn't Elon basically said he's going to put people on the moon this decade? Keith and Ryan, thank you for 30 months. Thank you for the awesome content. Thank you, Keithy. Can't select that as target yet. We're close enough. Set as target. Set as target. There we go. Focus Z-Tech, thank you for 9 months. Thanks for all the varied and cool content. Can't believe how fast 9 months has gone. Twitch baby for you. Engage. Throw propellants out of into space mode. (2050) wants to have 1 million people on Mars. I can't see that happening. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's pretty aggressive with his timescales, but I think there's lots of stuff there outside of his control. A prison on Mars. Imagine that. I sentenced you to 5 years on Mars, making potatoes in a glass dome. No, anything but that. Gonna F5 that. Nice, so we've got some more fuel here now. Let's get the fuel out of those cross members. And Manchester Station just got a bit bigger. Right. Now we still have a solar panel problem here because we need an engineer to come and remove these struts. We can't deploy the solar panels until we do that because the struts have basically clipped into the hinge. So we need an engineer to remove these hinges, and then we can detach that section. To do that, we need to build a transfer rocket that we can bring over here. That will go between the surface and here, but also have an engineer on it. Let's see. Manchester has fuel. Random name. So I reckon we just take the fuel tank a bit and just cobble something else together. Make it into a transfer. Vehicle assembly. No, Baz. I think you've got a scientist. I think you've got a scientist and a pilot, I think. Manchester Fuel Depot rocket. So we'll take this. And we'll call it the Manchester Fuel Transfer Rocket. It doesn't need some of this stuff. It doesn't need that. Batteries is always a good idea. We'll have a proper down just so we can remote control it if need be, but we want crew quarters in here, really. Probably need to move those panels in a minute. Some RCS would be a good idea. Lights may be a good idea. Reaction wheel, fine. Protective shell. Let's delete that for now. How much fuel can you get in one of these things? That's quite a lot. Thing is, it needs fuel to get up and down, but it also needs to just transfer the payload. We've got 3 people on station. Yeah, fine. Do we have repair kits, though? Do you want me to go back and check? I'm not sure we took any repair kits with us, you see. Let's have a look. Manchester Station. Nigril, thank you for 8 months. Pilot, scientist, and scientist. So what you've got is you've got 2 people working in the science module doing research, and then you've got a guy that flew it there. So we don't have an engineer on board. We have 4 repair kits in the command pod, but we don't have an engineer that can take them outside and remove those struts. Otherwise, I would have done it by now. The IA Protocol. Thank you very much for subbing. Welcome. Well, bad luck. That's the big question I've always had. Is if a self-driving car has a collision, who's responsible? Yeah, but Dishonotory, the guns don't fire themselves. You know? Game audio glitch is weird, why? Sounds like audio interference. Wait, what? Are you hearing something I'm not? You've got white noise in one ear. Okay, if I mute the game audio so there's just the mic, what do you get now? It's gone. That's really weird because I can hear everything that you're hearing. If I turn the audio back on, something in the game audio. I think I do. Yeah, I am, but I'll just wait. You know that when you're in the vehicle building, you can hear like fans and stuff? Like the... That's just the being in the building. If you go to the space plane hangar, I kind of think you're freaking out over nothing. It was glitched. What about that? The audio was cutting in and out. Ghosts in the machine, eh? Okay, let's try back in the VAB then. Okay, what's that like now? Okay. I have no idea. No idea. Now then. What I want to do is nick some stuff off this and put it onto that. It doesn't need a giant RCS tank, I don't think. It's not meant to store... Actually, no, it does, because it transfers that as well, isn't it? You're so angry you could throw a jar of jelly at the wall. That's a very specific kind of anger. We want them. We need to be able to dock, so we need to make sure we've got the right docking port. Hang on a minute. Let me load in. Let me see what port we have. Squeeze me. Well, are done. Thank you for 1.5 years. Got large docking points, and I thought we had small connectors as well. The docking point junior. So you can either use a Clampatron junior or a senior. Okay. Because that's neither. But it also needs that as well for the... Actually, that needs to be at the same height. You have to be careful here, because this has to basically work between the transfer, the rover, and also the station. So if this height here, we make that the, thanks game, make that the same height as that leg there. Then this Clampatron Junior which is that one. So you know we want one of them at this height. So in theory, if that leg and that port are about the same height as these two, then when this lands, the rover can connect to it. Is what I'm thinking. then it's going to need some of them. Jack M, thank you for 34 months. Jeffrey, thanks for 54. Thank you, guys. Jelly equals jam in the USA. Yes. Yeah, what the UK calls jam, the USA calls jelly. No, yes. And what we call jelly, the USA calls jello, I believe. Something like that. Right, so we'll get rid of that wonderful creation. Also, we have cargo in here that we specifically don't really need. Are the tanks now detachable? Not sure what you mean. You wonder why the change? I don't know. I heard also that in the UK, back in the days of what's the phrase they use? Like the posh people who had servants, right? So like you got these rich people who had servants. The rich people would call it jam, and all the peasants had to call it preserve. You kind of think it would be the other way around, but it wasn't. How do you get those ladders? You just connect a bunch of them together. Right, now the big problem we're going to have is that there won't be enough delta V in this final stage like there was in the other one. Making peasants work for the extra civil. I don't know what the reason was. It's a weird one though, isn't it? See, this upper stage is either going to have to get itself there, which is unlikely. It's probably going to need to expand this mid stage with some more fuel. That's what I think. So that decoupler there, we need to disable any crossfeed. We don't want fuel coming out of there. This needs to be effectively a deorbiting lander can type thing. It also needs to be full of fuel. And it needs to be enabled. Storage, reaction wheel. It's gonna need some monopropellant to get there with, I guess. Actually, the other thing about this is it's gonna have to... I guess if we can make it so that it's got side tanks on it, and if those tanks have enough fuel to get it up and back, then everything in the main tank can be transferred to the target, if you see what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. But for that, we definitely need more tanks. I need to remember exactly how high these are. Right, so the bottom of the ladder is on the 3rd rung. And that's about 2 rungs down. Peanut butter and jam is lovely. Peanut butter and cheese? I've not tried that. I've not tried peanut butter and cheese. How big is that? It's not a bad size. Do we go for a 3 or a 4-legged can? like cheese with strawberry jam. It's all coming out now. What does that look like? Thrust to weight 0.4. 2.7 when it's in orbit. It's probably okay. Don't think it needs such heavy-duty landing legs, does it, really? Maybe we can get away with LT1s. I don't know. I mean, we're only landed on the moon, so it's not that bad. Although if we do that, then we don't know what height to put it at. You'd be landing empty. It's very true. .1 of a ton, 0.05. What we need is to just make that about the same height as that. So approximately that's the same height, which means that port is about the same height. And that should do us, I think. We can get rid of those. Too many legs? Too many landing legs? I guess it doesn't matter because the weight's not very high. There we go. I think that is going to have to be on this here. Unless the miner connects in there. So if we were on the moon and we had no fuel in that, and no fuel in that, we would have 2,900 delta V in those tanks. Allegedly. Assuming the staging is correct. Which is enough. You need about... you need about 600-ish to get on... off and on. It's about 1,200. But then it's going to be full. It's going to lift that weight as well, so... it's kind of hard to calculate.